Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my team building analysis video for week number 5 of the Pokémon Premier League. Yes indeed. Now, the season has not gone well to start with. We are 1-3 right now, which is not ideal at all. But, you know, it's still vaguely early days. We finished fairly strongly in Season 1 with more losses than we've currently got now, so, you know, there's still time to mount a comeback, and if not challenge for the title, then, you know, try and get a decent finishing position. Now, this week we face off against my man NecroStevo and the Eterna City Enders. Now, he, contrary to me, is having a really good season so far. He's sitting at 3-1 with a very well built team. And he's played some really good games. You know, he's sitting on a three-game win streak at the moment, I believe. So he's doing really well. The team he can choose from should be appearing on your screen right about now. We've got Garchomp, Mega Blastoise, Gardevoir, Rotom, Weavile, Magneton, Rhyperior, Primeape, Volcarona, and Golbat. So we've got some interesting stuff in there. You know, it's not every day that you see some of these things drafted. Volcarona tends to slip under the radar a little bit. Primeape is a new one. It's been used a little bit, I believe. Miguel used it in the GBA, if I'm not entirely mistaken. It's still not one of those ones you see very often, but it's a threat in its own right, and I've got to say, Necro's been using it really well so far. So that's something to watch out for. He's also got those classic threats. Garchomp is there, Weavile is there, Rotom is nothing to mess with, Volcarona can be dangerous, and he's got the bulk. Mega Blastoise was used incredibly well by Sam last season, and Golbat is just a mainstay. So yeah, it's going to be tough to break this lot down. And before I go on, I should say, Necro's, I don't know why I didn't say this before, Necro's links in the description, go check them out. He's already uploaded his stuff. So do check that out. I say this, I think, every time I battle him. He has the most silky smooth voice, like, in the world ever. You think Morgan Freeman's got a good voice? Morgan Freeman ain't got nothing on NecroStevo, let me tell you that. But yes, let's get into the team that I'm going to bring to try and beat the Eterna City Enders. So first up, we are going to be taking Xrail. Xrail here with the Sugar Berry, Mold Breaker as the ability. We've got Earthquake, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and Stealth Rock. 60 HP, 196 attack, and 196 into speed with a jolly nature. It says 196 on the screen for me now. It will say 252 for you. I've just gone in to edit that real quick. It's actually 252 in attack. Yeah, we've just gone with as much attack as possible on Xrail. We've got enough speed on there to outpace a timid Gardevoir if he wants to bring that. That I think is it might be for the Rotom actually. One of those things that will outspeed. I actually think it's the Gardevoir. I don't think I've crept the Rotom mainly because I'm not expecting it to come, but we'll get onto that later. Yeah, this is just again, I've been running this when I run Xrail fairly, you know, Common or Garden Xrail, 3 attack, Stealth Rock. I want to have rocks up if at all I can. You know, he has got a Weavile that doesn't appreciate rocks. He has got a Primeape who could be U-turning around quite a lot, a Rotom who can be Volt switching around quite a lot, and a Volcarona which is quad weak. One of his forms of hazard removal, he only has 2, is Golbat, who also doesn't entirely appreciate Stealth Rocks. So I want to keep the pressure up with Stealth Rocks if I can, and of course, you know, Xrail being Xrail, it hits fairly hard anyway. Those 3 attacks, they give me fairly decent coverage across the board. And yeah, I think that Xrail, hopefully, it'll be about time that Xrail put in some work, because, you know, it's been a while since it's actually done anything worthwhile. So that's Xrail. Next up on the list, we have Tyrantrum. Yes, Blue Lines. It is really time for Blue Lines to put in some work. You know, we've been talking about Xrail. Can he put in work? Tyrantrum really needs a chance. And to be fair, Tyrantrum hasn't had a chance. You know, I've brought it to 2 games, and by the time I could get Tyrantrum in, it was well too late, and a sweep was very much on. So we've gone with another very similar set. We've got Lumberry here, Head Smash, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Rock Polish. We got 60 into HP, we got 252 attack, and 196 again into speed, again with a jolly nature. So it's actually exactly the same spread as Xrail, but this one does a few things differently. What we've got here is enough speed at +2 to outpace everything on his team that could be scarfed. His fastest thing is sitting at base 102, that's the Garchomp. What's good about this, of course, also is that if I can get a Rock Polish up, I can outspeed a +1 Volcarona if like he's Sash and he goes for setup. Got a Lumberry on there. Don't want to be taking any nasty statuses from a potentially bulky Golbat that can possibly live a hit. Don't want to take a Will-O-Wisp from a fast Volcarona, you never know, this thing can happen. Rotom-Mow as well, if he's bulky Rotom-Mow defensive, he will probably take a Head Smash and he might try and get a Will-O-Wisp onto me. And of course there's scores coming in from Mega Blastoise, there's statuses on Gardevoir, there's all sorts of things you could do, Thunder Wave, Magneton, all sorts of nasty statuses, none of which Tyrantrum wants to deal with. And you know, Head Smash, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, once again, much like Xrail, they hit most of his team incredibly hard indeed. So that's Tyrantrum. Hopefully it can finally get some kills this season and make up for lost time. Third up, and we have Venusaur, Mega-Venusaur, back for his 5th game in a row. I think he might be the only one who's come to all 5. We've got a specially defensive spread here. Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Leech Seed, and the knockoff. Max HP, 236 into special defense with that Calm Nature, 12 into speed, 4 into defense and special attack respectively. Yeah. I want to be knocking off some things here. I would imagine, you know, knockoff is mainly there actually for the Golbat. I would anticipate his Golbat to have a Violite, and I would also anticipate Golbat to be one of his main switch-ins into this Mega-Venusaur. Looking down his team, there's very few things he would want to switch into a Mega-Venusaur other than Golbat and maybe Magneton. To be fair, looking in at Volcarona would be an offensive switch as well. Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, they're very much standard stuff. Leech Seed, you know, aside from the Rotom-Mow, he doesn't have anything that really appreciates a Leech Seed. And this is not one of those games where I want to bring Synthesis, you know. Last week I wanted to bring Synthesis against George because of the potential for Venusaur to wall a lot of his things. It would be having to do a lot of walling, and therefore it would need instant and massive recovery very quickly off the bat. Leech Seed, in this case, is there for sort of trying to wear things down over time. I don't see the need as much for Synthesis in this instance. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Leech Seed. Yeah, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, very standard stuff. Not much more to say about Venusaur, especially defensive, looking to try and tank some hits here and there. There's no, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, you know. It's a nice answer to Mega Blastoise, aside from anything else. And it'll probably take one hit from a Gardevoir and be able to hit back with a Sludge Bomb fairly hard. So, that is Venusaur. Let's move on to the next member of the team, and that is going to be Hitmontop. Hitmontop returns. We've got a mixed defensive spread here. With the leftovers, Intimidate is the ability. We got Close Combat, Rock Slide, Rapid Spin, and the Mach Punch. Max HP, 116 into defense, Impish Nature, and 140 into special defense. Yeah, mixed defensive Hitmontop, it's what it does very well indeed. Nice answer to a lot of his physical attackers with the Intimidate. You know, Garchomp won't be doing too much to a Hitmontop. Similar idea with the Rhyperior. And the Weavile. Hitmontop's a very nice check to Weavile in most cases, you know. For the most part, I mean, Aerial Ace is not worth mentioning because I think Icicle Crash probably does more. I'm trying to work that out. Icicle Crash is what, base 80? 85? It's much of a muchness. If one does more than the other, it's not by much. And it's still not too much to Hitmontop when it's at -1 with that kind of investment. The one thing I do have to watch out for with Intimidate Hitmontop is, of course, the Primeape. Primeape has Defiant as its ability, and it can make for a very, very dangerous Pokemon. You know, if I'll get onto the kind of stuff I'm expecting, but if he does bring a Primeape that I expect him to bring, Hitmontop is not necessarily an answer to it, and it suddenly can get out of control very quickly indeed. So, with that said, Hitmontop, my Rapid Spinner, Mach Punch, very nice for the Weavile, and the plethora of weaknesses he does have to fighting. I say plethora, there's like 3. Rock Slide there for the Volcarona. There's an ideal world I will take a hit from a Volcarona. I'm fairly specially bulky. I have max HP, and the likes of a Psychic, which I would expect is his coverage, for the likes of this Hitmontop and my Venusaur, won't be taking me out anytime soon. I can get a big Rock Slide off. But that's pretty much all I want to say on Hitmontop. Now, I did say that Primeape is a bit of a problem, and that is why we are bringing our final debutant, a bit of a secret weapon. This is Mistyaur. Yeah, Mistyaur 5CL is coming to her first game. And we have got an Eviolite, mainly defensive set here. We've got Shadow Ball, Destiny Bond, Will-O-Wisp and Taunt. Excuse me. Max HP, 200 in defense with that bold nature, 4 in special attack, and 52 into speed. Now, these EVs, 52 in speed is the one I'll talk about first. That is allowing me to outpace an uninvested Golbat and get a taunt off. Stop it doing nasty things like trying to toxic me or roost up, any of these kind of things. Get a Will-O-Wisp off on it, and you know, job should be a good one. I can 1v1 it fairly easily. Because, you know, physically defensive Misdreavus takes it better than you would expect. It'll actually take 2 hits from most forms of Garchomp, which sounds weird. It'll also take any 1 hit from a Weavile, which is crazy. Rhyperior does not bother it unduly. You know, it's not great. It's no great shake, especially defensively, to be fair, without investment. You know, it's base 85 from the Violite, but it's base 60 HP. It's still a Misdreavus. So special attacks, have to try and deal with them in some other way. Ideally with that Mega-Venusaur. But yeah, that's pretty much Misdreavus. I'm hoping it can put in some work in its first game. It'd be nice if Misdreavus can do some things and really show why I decided to take it in this league. Now, final Pokemon, and this was something of a toss-up for me. Initially, I was going to bring Meloetta, but I decided against it because of the issue of a Scarfed Primeape, which I did not want to deal with particularly. Now, admittedly, I have a Misdreavus who can switch in on close combats, but if I want to guarantee switching in on a close combat, it will probably have taken out something that is weak to that. And if he predicts me and goes for a knockoff or a Night Slash, I know it gets the latter, I think it gets the former. Either way, it doesn't want to take that hit too much. So, I decided, against Meloetta, I decided I wanted to offensively check a Primeape. And what I've decided to bring is Greninja. Not only have I decided to bring Greninja, I've decided to bring Scarfed Greninja. We've got Choice Scarf Greninja here, Scald, Ice Beam, Extra Sensory, and a U-turn. We've got 36 into attack, 212 into special attack with a rash nature, 220 into speed. The beauty of this thing, Greninja, the fact that Necro's fastest thing is sitting at base 102 in the form of Garchomp, means that at base 122 I don't have to run a positive nature in speed to outpace it. You know, I can run as much special attack as possible. It's come up with 212 EVs and special attack on my screen. I don't know why. Good job, Showdown. Yes. Yeah. I can run a neutral nature and speed and outpace everything on his team. The Choice Scarf allows me to do that as well. Similar kind of thing with Tyrantrum. I will be outspeeding a +1 Volcarona. I'll admittedly only be doing about 50% with Scald, but it's still something. It is still something. Yeah, Extra Sensory there to try and take out that Primeape. If he brings it, I expect him to lead with it. I'll be able to get a U-turn off and get him into the range where Extra Sensory will kill it. And you know, Greninja does as Greninja does. Scald, Ice Beam, very standard stuff. They hit his team very hard indeed. So, that is the team I have decided to bring. Now, looking at the Eterna City Enders, the kind of things I'm expecting from him would be Garchomp, yeah, Mega Blastoise, I would think, Rhyperior as a certainty, Primeape as a certainty, Volcarona probably, and I would say Golbat, but shout out to the potential Weavile. Now, I've always got a cough, what do you know? Yeah, Mega Blastoise I think is pretty much a mainstay of his team. I fully expect to see the Rhyperior. It is the only thing that desperately wants to take a hit from Tyrantrum. So that is why I'd expect to see the Rhyperior with the Solid Rock, probably very physically defensive, and this is the reason why I have that Misdreavus. If I can get a Misdreavus matchup onto the Rhyperior, you know, get a Will-O-Wisp off and do nasty things, that would be absolutely grand. The Primeape, Scarf Primeape, I absolutely categorically expect him to bring Scarf Primeape. He doesn't really have too much of a reason not to do that. I have a fair amount of a fighting weakness going on with this team. And it will look to him, I think, like I don't have too much for it. Yeah, Volcarona can be spooky scary. I just hope that I've done enough to deal with it. Setup has been a problem for me this season. That is set up against me. I've never really had a chance to set up too much. So yeah, I just rather hope that I have enough to deal with the Volcarona and that I don't let it get out of hand. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I expect. As I say, Garchomp, Mega Blastoise, Rhyperior, Primeape, Volcarona, and Golbat, probably. But maybe the Weavile, you never know. But I think I have enough to deal with the Weavile. defensively in the form of Hitmontop, and offensively checking with potential Scarfers that you might not see coming. So that is pretty much it from this team building analysis video. Pre-game show should be going up shortly, probably tomorrow morning, and the battle hopefully tomorrow evening / afternoon. I don't know why I said them that way around. But yes, that's going to wrap things up, so thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Links in the description to the PPL Twitter and YouTube as ever, and of course my erstwhile opponent NecroStevo and the Eterna City Enders, his links in the description too. Make sure you do go and check him out. You'll be doing yourself a massive favour. He's having a great season and he's put out some great content recently, so yeah, do go and check it out. You'll enjoy it, I promise. But as I say, that's going to wrap things up. I've rambled on far too long, so my final thank you to you all for watching, and I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.